baby, it is time. It is Sunday Fun Day. Yes, Denver, Colorado. We got Atlantic, Georgia. We have LA. And we got a lot to talk about today, my boys and girls. America, check this out. Michigan. Let's have to leave it at that one. And tomorrow, Denver Broncos. So right now, shotgun, locked and loaded. Boom.
Another super Sunday full of football fun day. Like I was telling Tony when we were chatting before, we're at least with college, we're slowly getting to grand finale time. You know, this is a pretty big weekend. And the same with football, you're really starting to separate the kind of the men from the boys in the NFL. But yeah, like Thanksgiving weekend is such a great weekend always of football. And basically from now till, I guess the Super Bowl, it's just football greatness. It just kind of is. So I wanted to start off with college because yesterday you had Ohio State go down, you had Miami go down, and then you were saying Clemson, right, Bama?
Yeah, Clemson also.
So, with that being said, okay, I was talking to my buddies at work. With all that being said, like, is Oregon really? Do you think Oregon really like the Michigan of last year? Like, do you think Oregon could beat a Georgia or an Alabama or even I don't know. I'm trying to think here. Like, they could probably beat it like a Tennessee. There's so many scenarios with the SEC right now. Okay, so let's start here. Do you think like a South Carolina all of a sudden sneaks into the playoff?
No.
No? Because there's like all of a sudden there's now so many 3-loss teams that I guess you got to go based on schedule. But like if you're
two people out, you'd have to at least start 2 people out to get South Carolina because you can't put South Carolina around Alabama. They beat them heads up. Alabama did. So
I know, but South Carolina, if you base it on like strength of schedule, it's still an SEC team. They would have to go in before like an ACC or any other conference 3-loss team.
That's the debate we're about to come up with. I mean, because you already got 3 ACC teams. So Miami's odd man out now since they lost to Syracuse yesterday. They don't get to play in the championship game now. So they got to hope that a 2-loss ACC team is better than a 3-loss SEC team in the committee's mind.
And I don't think they are.
I don't think it depends on which one is. I don't think Miami's better than Alabama, and I don't think they're better than South Carolina, honestly, looking right now. Yeah.
So that's kind of where I was going. Is like, okay, obviously it looks like Oregon.
You still get Ole Miss to look at. Okay,
that's the other team I was thinking about was Ole Miss. So Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss, South Carolina, Tennessee.
Well, Georgia's going to end up
Texas. I mean, Jesus. Also, yeah. I'm just trying to think of all the SEC teams. Texas took care of business yesterday against Texas A&M, right? I didn't see the final score.
It was a close game, but they won, yeah.
So, basically, did Michigan – I mean, there was a few hand grenades thrown into the college football playoff yesterday. Obviously, the first one –
And we were glad to help. I don't think Ohio State had any problem. Win or lose, Ohio State was going to – They're going in.
They're going in, but like –
But they're not in the conference championship game now, so you don't have that feather in your hat that you could always say, "Oh, well, at least we made it to the championship game, conference championship." They don't have that now. They're sitting out because now it's Oregon and Penn State playing for the championship.
Yeah. So
now you're looking at a 2-loss Big Ten.
I guess it didn't affect Ohio State. It's just who all of a sudden is going to end up getting in because of these, unforeseen losses by these would be, maybe still are playoff teams.
Yeah, I think it's going to benefit at least one SEC team, if not 2. I think one. So, I think they still keep Miami in, and I think Clemson's out. Unless they win the Big 12, the ACC championship, Clemson's out. And if they do win it, I think Miami might be out.
Okay, so Bentley. How much do you follow college, Bentley?
That's the thing. Not too much until it gets into playoffs, but it would be exciting to see Oregon. It's the Ducks. Oh, Oregon's for sure. They're the number one team in the country all year right now.
Yeah, they're
Oregon's one of
undefeated.
those teams like when they had what is it, Chip Kelly, and so I mean there was been that high, regular season, but it's a different story, championship and so on. So let's see, it is possible. Let's see.
So that was the point that I brought up. It's like, Oregon is undefeated. Are they the Michigan of last year? I was trying to make the argument that, an Alabama would destroy them. Georgia might destroy them just because of the defense, even if their offenses aren't as good as Oregon. But a buddy of mine at work said, and I haven't kept up that much with Oregon this year. Their head coach is from the SEC.
Yeah, that was their head coach. I can't think
Yeah,
of who it is. I know
exactly.
their quarterbacks, the Oklahoma transfer, Gabriel from last year. He'll probably be the top quarterback taken in the draft this year.
Right.
I don't know. When I think of Oregon, I'm thinking the good-looking uniforms, fun-looking, fun team. But when it comes to playoffs or championship, it's not getting done. That's what I think of Oregon.
Track record says that. That does, yeah. Track record does say that, Billy. Yeah.
So just let me get your guys' thoughts. Like, who are we believers in Oregon? Tony?
Yes.
Bama?
They proved many things.
I think they got a good enough offense. Defense is good enough to slow down an SEC team. So, it's already shown. I mean, any of us can get beat. Alabama looks like crap half the time. Georgia looks like crap half the time. Texas can look like crap half the time. Ohio State looks like crap half the time. I mean, I think Oregon's the one that's kind of been all year long consistent, pretty much. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
And you guys haven't mentioned one team that is the creeper on all this. SMU. They're not bad, man. They're not bad.
What? I get that. What conference is SMU playing?
They're ACC.
They're ACC.
Yeah, they're playing Clemson for the championship, ACC championship.
I guess I would believe. I mean, if they could come out and beat Clemson, I mean that their schedule can't be anything that. I guess it's ACC though.
Mm-hmm.
Which means it's not that impressive, obviously.
It's not that impressive, but at least did they have to play Miami this year? Or?
I don't know if they played Miami or not. I know their one loss was to BYU early in the season, which was a non-conference game. But yeah, I don't know if they played Miami or not. Let's see.
So if there was so obviously a safe bet would be just take Oregon. If you were going to take a long shot, who would your long shot be to come out of the, kind of out of nowhere to win the whole enchilada?
I'd say, if Alabama gets in there, you got to look at that team. Honestly, not being biased.
Yeah.
If an Ole Miss gets in there, you got to look at that team. I think Penn State's kind of under the radar right now. A lot of people probably not Minnesota. They played a pretty tough game against Oregon and Ohio State this year.
Yeah. I could see a Penn State knocking off like an Oregon.
They're kind of like Billy said with Oregon. I mean, they show good in the season, but once it gets to crunch time, they usually fold, and that's why I wouldn't put money on Penn State. But if you're looking for a creeper, if you're looking for a creeper, that could be one right there.
And it definitely ain't Colorado.
Yeah, and don't waste your money on Indiana neither. Though Indiana will be in the playoffs, but they ain't gonna do nothing. They're one and done.
Do you think Indiana? So Indiana's in?
They will. Yeah, they're 11-1. You got to get them in there.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true, and it is a Big Ten team.
And the only team they lost to was Ohio State.
Yeah, it's the only team they played was Ohio State too, but still, I mean, reward them for 11 wins right there in the Big Ten. You got to reward them.
And that's the first time they ever got that far in wins in history of the program.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, NIL and portals and all those things. We're seeing the craziness that can be when you have an Indiana, like all of a sudden of football power.
Yeah. And whenever you speak of Indiana, you're always thinking basketball,
Oh yeah,
but now tables turned.
Yeah.
Tables turned.
The Hoosiers of the gridiron.
Yeah.
that's freaking nuts. So, Bentley, if you had to take a long shot, who would it be?
I mean, why not? Just go with Oregon. Why not?
Yeah, well, they're not the long shot. That's the favorite. Was there any other team out there that are you just all Oregon because you're West Coast?
Oregon, West Coast, and just because it's a long shot. It's Oregon, even though they're in there. I mean, I don't think they're going to win a championship, but just throw it in there. Why not?
Well, see, man in the shower, like you said earlier, the last couple of years, Oregon was always in it, but guess what? Like you said, they fold at the end.
Yeah, they're like the Marty Schottenheimer of college.
That's funny.
There's a lot of Marty Schottenheimer because I was going to say Notre Dame's in this thing too, and they're like a Marty Schottenheimer when it comes to the big game. They always choke in the championships. Also, that's something to watch out for. They got a really good running game and some defense going right now. So
yeah, those tight ends, all their tight ends are huge, and they catch the ball. That's why they're in Notre Dame. But anyways, I think Notre Dame.
I'm just glad it's more than 4 people in this thing.
Yeah, you got variety now.
Yeah.
We got the Skittles.
And Boise State. Don't forget about Boise. You Boise State fans.
Oh my God, it's like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, how does it? Okay,
because that'd be the surprise pick. Because they got.
How the hell does Boise? Okay, like if a Boise State and an SMU get in, and like a South Carolina, give me another worthy, like 3-loss team. Like how could you? I mean, I get it. They might be 1 loss, but a 1-loss Boise State or SMU, they couldn't hang with South Carolina. Could they?
Well, Boise gets in only because they're going to be the highest ranked non-power conference champion. So that's right there. That's the only way Boise gets in.
Yeah.
And SMU gets in just one in the ACC now, so that's a Power 5 conference. You win it, you get in. And if you don't win it, you win 10, 11 games in that conference, so you pretty much got to get in. But again, that's the debate we're talking about. It goes to 2-loss
Where's Tennessee? Is Tennessee in?
Tennessee's in pretty much. Yeah, they've only got 2 losses. So yeah, they were like number 6 or 7 going into the weekend. So they didn't lose. So they should be in.
They had a slow start, big finish, very big finish.
I don't know. I'm just. Are we really getting the best?
Look at the 5 SEC probably.
Are we really getting the best 12 teams, or is it just kind of? Is there a little bit of feel good? Okay, Boise State, you won your conference.
I mean, yeah, we'll find that out Tuesday when they or in the next round when you find out if they put in. Like,
are we getting some participation trophies in this 12-game playoff?
I hope not.
Well,
I think they kind of set the precedence last year by when they told Florida State, even though you went undefeated, we're not going to put you in the 14 playoff because your quarterback got hurt and that kind of stuff. So they kind of set the precedent last year. They're not doing the show.
I'll wrap it up with this. Like, Tony, if Ole Miss or South Carolina plays Boise State or SMU, are you taking the SEC schools or the other schools?
Well, with those 2 teams that you just said, hey, man, you never know. God, you never know.
Bentley,
you never know.
Bentley, any mid-tier SEC school versus Boise State or SMU, who are you taking?
Give it to Boise.
Yeah? Bama. I mean, we got to be realistic here.
Ole Miss or South Carolina and that's the mediocre, middle road.
That's what I'm saying. They're like mid to upper. They would smash those teams.
And SMU, they might hang a little bit with SMU just because SMU's got a little bit better offense. But yeah, they would be a match.
Yeah, their running attack is sick. Oh my gosh.
So,
hey, Gregory!
Mr. Greg Vaughn.
What's happening?
How's it going?
Good. Just busy. Thanksgiving, family in town, just doing the thing.
Awesome.
Hey, Greg.
Good win. I can't say anything.
That was nuts, man. Okay, Greg, you just hopped on. Like, the point we were just talking about is we were talking college football playoffs. We were talking about how a Boise State and like an SMU are probably going to get in, and a South Carolina and like an Ole Miss probably are not going to get in. Do you think that there's kind of going to be some participation trophies with this 12-team playoff? Because we were just talking about how like an Ole Miss or a South Carolina would probably smash a Boise State or an SMU. What are you thinking?
Yeah, but hey, that's why those conferences get the big money too. You know what I mean? It's they're lining up to go to the big conferences. The SEC, ACC, Big Ten, and you can't fault Boise State and those guys for doing what they're supposed to do. But Ole Miss has 3 losses, right? So
yeah.
I mean,
but it's an SEC. Those are like literally SEC losses should only count as like a half a loss.
Yeah, it should, but it's been doing that for a long time, right? So
Yeah.
I think now it brings some type of parity for your Colorado and the rest of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Otherwise, why have a 12-team playoff if you're going to keep things the same?
Hey, that brings me to a point. Okay, so Tony, Bama, Bentley, if CU plays Ole Miss, who wins?
That's a good
Ole
game.
Miss.
Ole Miss wins. That's a good game.
That'll be a great game. The only catch is Ole Miss has offense and defense. Right now, CU's looking good. They got a good little win streak going right now, but they let their defense, they let that team come back.
If CU plays South Carolina, who wins?
I think South Carolina loses.
Yeah,
You think?
I think
I
so.
don't know, man. The SEC defenses are just another level. It's like it's another level.
Colorado's got a really good offense, though. You got to give them a little bit of credit right there.
True, I get it.
The defenses, but I think they could hang with those two right there.
I guess the point I'm getting at is, are we truly going to be getting the 12 best teams? That's all.
Well, have we ever gotten the 5 best or the 6 best teams?
No.
Yeah. And I guarantee you, one of those small schools is going to upset one of those big schools.
True. Yeah, and it does happen.
All right. Perfect example. Last year, look what Cincinnati did.
Yeah.
Cincinnati out of nowhere.
Yeah. So that's all. I can see a few SEC schools getting snubbed. That.
Hey, you're forgetting about Big Ten schools too, brother.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so how many Big Ten is Oregon? Oregon is still. They're still Pac-12, right?
They're Big Ten.
Big Ten.
They are Big Ten. So it was
Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana, Penn State.
Pretty much, yeah, that's it.
So USC, UCLA, and Oregon. Oregon is in
Washington. They all came to Big Ten.
Oh, that's right. Jesus, man, that's insane. Okay,
it should be the Big 20 now.
It's almost like you should expand the schedules of college to like 15 games so that they can play almost everybody in the conference each year.
It still would be almost so. Yeah, each conference has like 18 teams in it now.
I know, it's just freaking crazy. It's going to be really fun to watch it all, but I think I'm just all of a sudden becoming biased now that I live in Atlanta, because when you talk about CU or these other teams, down here in the South, they're just like, yeah, right.
Whatever. Like, yes.
Yeah, they're like,
until we beat them.
They're like, yeah, right. So that's it. That's all I got for college football playoffs. I was thinking we don't have G Unit on today, but dude, the Kansas City.
Winning.
Yeah.
What's that?
They keep on winning,
dude.
That's the cat with 9 lives.
Yeah.
Like, how lucky can you get? So I don't know if you guys heard this story, but Antonio Pierce and like a bunch of the Raiders heard that when they snapped that football and, it just hit him, freaking, they had heard a whistle blow. And they don't know where it came from. And they're saying that's why he did that. Because they heard a whistle blow that played dead, and it wasn't the refs. So, what do you? I mean, I don't know. You're obviously not supposed to bring whistles to football games, but dude, they beat the Carolina Panthers by 3 points. The Broncos should have beat them. They should have just lost to the Raiders. Are they just like
Baltimore?
They got a golden horseshoe up their butt.
They got something.
They went to the crossroads. They signed that piece of paper. We want 3 championships.
They got a Swiftie.
So, I don't know. Greg, Bentley, either you guys got thoughts on just are they the chosen one with these just ridiculous way they're winning these games?
Well, I
think they run out.
Yeah, that's what I think. Greg, what are your thoughts?
I thought, hey man, you look at Brady, you look at all the good teams and all champions, man. The ball bounces their way, the calls go their way. I mean, it's not the first time this has happened. It's always happened. You look at the Yankees, you look at You know, you
Yeah.
look at the it's just, hey man, it's sports. That's why we keep coming back, right?
God,
You-
I could not because we were sitting in the bar and I was ready to just freak out again, just like when the Broncos were about to beat them. And I was just like, oh my God. I mean, okay, let me ask you this. Which is the worst loss, the Raiders or the Broncos?
Raiders for sure.
Broncos.
They're both losses and they both suck.
I know, but like, I have to say the Raiders because the Raiders, that was so dumb. Like the Broncos, that was really, really unlucky. The guy was in there so fast to block the kick. But like the Raiders, they snatched defeat from the jaws of victory in the dumbest way.
Same way with the Broncos.
Yeah, but it's the Raiders. I mean, Broncos is a well put together team. That's just like, gosh, that was a real hard.
The Raiders,
Yeah.
The Raiders head coach smokes marijuana, so it was expected. They're an undisciplined team.
Oh, of course, Billy, of course. Yeah.
The Raiders game goes back to like the Bears on Thanksgiving. You know, they fight their butts off, and the fans get all excited, and then something crazy happens. I mean, the finish of the Bear game was horrible. They should have went and got the defensive coordinator at halftime for the Bears and made a trade. And so you know what I mean. They should have got him at halftime, and because he's going to be a head coach next year. And this guy, all he does is make mistakes. I don't even know how he kept his job.
Yeah. So those are I don't know, those are some of the bigger topics. I was just kind of going over last week's picks. Tony, what was your pick? I haven't went back and watched last week's episode. What was your pick of the week last week?
It was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That's what I thought. You and Greg, that was money in the bank last week.
Yeah, I'm 6-0 in picks right now.
Yeah, dude. So the Bucks covered easy. And I don't know if anybody noticed, there was one guy that was all over the Cowboys last week to cover 10.5. Not only did they cover the 10.5, they won the game outright.
Again, a missed extra point. The kick is ridiculous this year.
I get it, but I mean, dude, they 10.5. They were supposed to lose the game by 11 points or more.
And they would have covered anyway. Yeah, they had. Yeah. Surprising it is. It is.
And they won that game. So we hit on that. Like literally our picks on this show for the last 2 months. If you were putting like, I don't know, say $1,000 on every one of our like main picks, we've only missed like one or two of the last like 20 or 25 picks we've put out. It's nuts. So the Cowboys, not only did they cover, they won. I was liking the Seahawks. The Seahawks ended up winning that game outright. The Broncos covered easily. Like, it's freaking nuts. And the only other real like topic that I had is how in the hell did the Titans go into Texas and beat the Texans last year?
Game.
It's up and down, man. They're like a lot of teams. They're Jekyll and Hyde. They can play as good as you see out there, or they can play as bad as you see out there.
Yeah. And the Cowboys are better with Cooper Rush.
Yeah, they seem that way. I mean, so is anybody like, okay, I'm kind of jumping off the Texans bandwagon a little bit. What are our thoughts on the Texans? I was seeing them maybe in the AFC Championship game.
But you got to remember,
young.
That quarterback was out there by himself for 4 games. I mean, he didn't have a wide receiver. Dale was out at one point. He came back. The Texans are fine.
You think they're fine once they get healthy?
It's just like any team. You're only as good as your players.
Yeah.
Look at the 49ers right now. I mean, I went to Green Bay last week knowing that they were going to lose. You know what I mean?
I think of it like this.
And this week too. You're in Buffalo.
I get it. But I mean, dude, the Titans. The Titans are probably the second to worst team. The only team I could think of that's maybe worse than the Titans is Carolina.
No,
so like I get.
Titans have weapons, man. Titans have athletes and they have weapons. They're just young.
Dude, but you guys are, I mean, just like that remember the Dolphins-Titans Monday night game like a month ago? It was one of the worst NFL games. But Tua was still out. Like, just, I don't know. How do you...
Okay, but let's go back to the
if you are a great...
for the Broncos. Let's go back to Broncos first game of the year. You can't do that.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, I think of it like this. If back in the day, John Elway had nothing. He had nobody. Okay? John Elway would have found a way to have beaten the Titans last week.
I call timeout, Tony Bama. Until he got Terrell Davis, he didn't find anything. You know what I mean? So
He took us to 3 Super Bowls.
But didn't he
So
lose?
I don't know, but just like
game his rookie
shouldn't
year, something like that. First couple years, he only won like 1 or 2 games, right?
okay, but we can go back to Troy Aikman and the rest of those guys
Aikman
too.
took the Gooseneck Cup, yeah.
Yeah, you got Peyton Manning. You know what I mean?
shouldn't my point is shouldn't CJ Stroud have been able to find a way to win that game at home? Okay, I get it if it's in Tennessee. That was at home against the Titans.
Yeah, they should have won, but they didn't. I mean, Titan, like I said, Calvin Ridley's been playing lights out lately. Pollard's been doing better.
And I just kind of bring this up because I've been seeing it on, like ESPN and Fox Sports and whatever. There's about how people are kind of like wondering what the hell is up with CJ Stroud all of a sudden.
Yeah,
and I guess I'm just going to say it's injuries.
Well, CJ, one thing is he just looks and seems a little too comfortable. They've anointed him as this great already at such an early time, and he still needs to prove himself.
I mean, I'd take him over Bo Nix.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would too. I mean,
I'm just
saying.
That's right now, yes. But I think in a couple seasons, we'll see that Bo Nix will totally just achieve much more than what CJ Stroud has in 3 seasons. But
do you think so?
I
just CJ, you can't put it in positions where he's missing now because I think he's trying to overcompensate for all his players being out. You got to remember too.
Yeah.
The Texans have one of the best field goal kickers, and this guy hasn't been himself the last 2 or 3 weeks, missing easy kicks to win games. Or they win these games.
Yeah, true. So, and I guess it also goes back to like any given Sunday. I'm sure even Elway lost games he should have won.
But I do believe we've seen the best of CJ Stroud this season, at least. I don't believe he's going to go beyond. We've seen the best.
I don't believe that. I believe he is a beast. You get a team around him, that kid can toss the rock. Sometimes you got to just sort of cowboy up and go win a football game, even just with the players you got. And I didn't see that last week. That's all.
Yeah. Last week, I agree with you, but every week up until then, like I said, the field goal kicker, it was been in his hands for like 3 or 4 weeks, and he's a beast, and he's missing them.
Yeah. I guess you can't nobody can fix the field goal kicker. He's the one. Sometimes it's funny. The soccer player ends up being the most important player on the team.
It's the old analogy. They used to ask me, the best player in the game. I used to say Barry Bonds. The thing about it is Barry can't throw it. He can't pitch it. He can't do it all. You need other players to do their part, right?
Just do your job. Just go out there and just do your job. All you do all day, every day, is kick field goals. Just go out there and kick that field.
Oh, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just.
Oh no.
Saying,
They'll be in the playoffs. Houston will be in the playoffs. So, they'll recover. They'll get it going.
Yeah, they'll be in the playoffs, but I can see them a 1 game out.
It depends who they play.
Yeah.
Depends, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta take my
Okay.
grandson.
Let me give you a scenario then. Let's say it's Texans Steelers. Who you taking in that playoff game?
Texans.
Steelers are very one-dimensional. We've seen the best that Mike Tomlin can do. So
Pittsburgh, I'll probably take Pittsburgh.
What do you think, Greg?
It depends where you're playing at.
Let's call it. Okay, let's just say Texas.
Texans.
And if it's in Pittsburgh, probably the Steelers.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, got it.
Can I give you my pick of the day? I got to take my grandson to the airport. With
Absolutely.
My pick of the day. What is I hate to say this. They're not as far up there as the Cowboys, but the Broncos. That's my lock this week. Broncos.
Really? Awesome. I love it. Broncos -6?
5.
5, Greg.
5.5. 5.5 right here.
I don't know. Tony, I don't have that as a pick. That's at Cleveland, right?
It's in Denver.
Yeah,
Oh, that's in Denver? Do you think? Okay. Let me ask you something, Tony. Just real quick, because the Broncos so far this year, we are definitely trending up. But it seems like we go on these 2 and 3 game streaks, looking really good, and then we lay an egg.
Yeah,
Do you,
but
th-
at
do
the
you think
same,
there's any way we lay an egg against Cleveland?
well,
No, Cleveland's pretty good, man. They're
Bo
pitching
Nix
up.
right now, he took over. Look how many times he's got Player of the Month right now. This is only his second month that he has Player of the Month. His last 3 games, he has over 12 touchdowns, 2 of them by run-ins, and his passing, where we don't have wide receivers. We only have Sutton. Mims
Yeah, I
is
get it.
stepping up.
But I mean, just remember the Browns just recently knocked off the Steelers
Yeah, but you know what?
And the Ravens.
and the Ravens.
But
So
you,
that's why
And those are rivalry games too. Don't forget.
that's
yeah,
true. That's like fighting your brother. I get it. I see the Broncos winning this game tough. I think it's going to be an ugly game. I personally would stay away from the points. I think we win by a field goal, like
No way.
20.
Broncos are so much better than Cleveland, man. Especially coming to Denver.
I
And our
know, man, but I just for some reason Jameis Winston's going to be. Maybe you're right. I just see a tough game.
Broncos
We-
defense is a little bit better top to bottom than Baltimore's was, and I think the secondary is also better than what Pittsburgh put out there too. So I think.
Okay, give me your predicted score, Tony.
that game.
I say 31-16.
Okay,
Like
Bama,
27-13, something like that.
Bentley,
Low scoring game, probably 17-21.
Greg. What do you think the predicted score of that game is going to be? Can you hear us, Greg?
I don't care as long as the Broncos win by 5.5.
All right, hey, Greg. Before you leave, I got some picks for you.
Okay.
I only like one of the morning games today, guys. Only one, and that is the. I like the Houston Texans. I like giving up the 3.5. I think they're promising, including they're playing a banged up Jacksonville. For the afternoon game, Tampa Bay. Once again, I'm taking them 2 weeks in a row. And I'm giving up the 6 points.
Tampa.
Okay, I like it.
And then between the Eagles versus the Ravens, what a hell of a game at 2:25 that's going to start. I took the over. I took the over at 51.5. I don't know who's going to win it. I just know it's going to be a lot of scoring.
The Battle of the Birds.
But my pick of the day, guys. I'm sorry, Gregory, but I'm taking the Buffalo Bills with 12-degree weather in their house and it's snowing tonight.
There's no excuse for the Bills. They got to win this one for sure.
Hey, what's the spread on that?
The spread is
6.5.
Yep, and I took it all day. I already bet it because that's how confident I feel in it.
Hey, but isn't everybody Purdy's back? They got a lot of people back now, right?
Supposedly.
No, they don't. No. Purdy's playing hurt tonight, and they're playing in Buffalo. The wind's gonna be blowing 35 miles an hour.
They are beat up, that poor team.
Well, do you guys got McCaffrey back?
I'm sitting Purdy on my fantasy.
Yeah,
team.
but he's not fully healthy. But you got to have someone to block for him.
Yeah, I guess that's true. God, I feel bad for you, Greg. Like, if you guys lose today,
That's okay.
are you like 2-3 games under 500?
We'll be fine. We'll be back.
You'll be all right?
Dave Henderson told me this one time. Rest in peace. I remember I came into town and he said, "Bonnie, hey, what's happening?" I said, "Hey, man, struggling a little bit." He said, "Sometimes you got to give a little ass to get a lot of ass later on." So that's what we're doing right now.
I get it. Cool. Okay, so you got Tony's pick of the day. Swami. Hey, Tony the Greek. What's your thoughts on the Chargers Falcons to pick them?
You know what? Chargers Falcons. Hey man, I'm taking Harbaugh.
Okay.
I'm going Chargers. I think the Chargers are up and coming. The only thing they're kind of lacking is just some defensive help, but besides that, they're stepping up.
And the running back, they're missing out.
Yeah, they're missing J.K. Dobbins too, but
They'll win. Yeah, they'll take it.
I still think it's going to be a good game. I think that young wide receiver core is going to come through, and an old Kirk Cousins, he's showing his age now. He can't run like he used to. He doesn't have it.
And then my only other thoughts are Steelers at Bengals. Bengals are favored by a field goal.
I like the Bengals in that game. Honestly.
I kind of like the Bengals too in that one.
Me as well. Like, what's the Bengals record right now?
Poor Bengals.
4-7.
So, I mean, is that a team that, like, all the time just gets hot late going down the stretch and somehow sneaks in the playoffs?
Kind of, yeah. Hey, Joe Cool can win a game. I don't know what the hell happens with these guys, but man, those poor Bengals. They can beat anybody. I don't know if they just need a little luck on their side right now or something.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of the Chiefs. It's like, Chiefs get off the good luck, and Bengals get off bad luck.
Yeah, Bengals just need a little luck.
They have a great. I mean, you got Burrows and you got the receiving core with Chase and those guys. They had to Mixon too, one of the best running backs. They got what they got to the Super Bowl at one time and just couldn't get it there. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, it's kind of like they need to sacrifice that live chicken or something to break the curse or
something, man. I don't know what it is. I do believe there's curses out there, and the Bengals have I don't know what.
See, but that's the same thing we were talking about Joe Cool. Which one is it going to be, Joe Cool, or is it going to be Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah,
because when he's Macaulay Culkin, he can't get nothing done.
It's usually Macaulay Culkin in September and October. Then comes in December, right? He becomes cool.
Yeah. So by December, if Joe Cool is not now, he's home alone.
Yeah. Well, we're December now. They could definitely make a run some way, and I think the Steelers will run out of steam, and it's the typical Steelers. And then I think Joe Cool can do something there, hopefully.
Maybe.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
They still got to battle the Ravens one more time.
Oh, they're not going to beat the Ravens. They're going to try.
They can beat the Ravens. They could.
They do. They do every year.
Wait. Hey, where is that second game at? Do you know about Bama?
I think it's at their house, if I'm not mistaken. I was going to double check.
Cincinnati, yeah.
Because I would agree if it's in Cincinnati. Right now, I don't think anybody's beaten the Ravens, in Baltimore. But
the Raiders did.
Oh, what is that?
Well, again, that's one of those fluke.
We've already played them twice. We beat them twice.
You beat them twice? Okay.
Yeah, we already played them.
Bengals can hold down Henry. If they can do that and force Lamar to win the game for them, the Bengals got it.
But we've already beat them twice this year. Though.
Yeah, they don't play again unless it's in the playoffs. So.
Yeah. But they were one-score games, so 1 point.
Okay, I'll wrap it up with this. Do the Bengals end up making the playoffs somehow? Bama.
I don't see their schedule. The AFC's kind of wide open. I'm gonna say no, they do not.
Tony.
I don't think they will.
Bentley.
Unfortunately, I don't think they will either.
4-7. You don't think they can turn it around? Yeah, I mean that's crazy because they're going to be the kind of team that just messed up early and could just destroy all these teams' playoffs hopes because they get good for no reason the rest of the season.
But I mean, they do that. They've done it before.
I know. It's
record.
what do you do? I don't get that. I would almost. Let me ask you this.
They're only one game out of 8th place right now. They're only one game.
They almost won the freaking Super Bowl a few years ago.
That was wild.
And they're just falling off a cliff. Do you put this on their slow starts? Do you put that on coaching?
Yeah, you got to. It's got to be something.
I mean, how do you have that much talent? Yes. And it seems like at least the last 3 years, they start off every season 0-2, if not 0-3. How does that happen with that much talent? Are you just sleepwalking through training camp? What are you doing?
All right. Well, you made a good point right there. Look at what happened to Chicago. They fired their head coach. They fired their OC.
It's not. I can understand if it was lack of talent, but it is not lack of talent.
Caleb Williams is never going to be the answer to that team this year. You put all the pieces around, but he's still a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Bengals.
Right. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Burrow ain't a rookie quarterback. So
no.
Yeah, he's
I mean, that dude, he is the only man. He's the only man that ever knocked Mahomes out of it. I think, well, besides maybe Brady, an AFC championship game.
Yeah, and the last one, the refs helped out the Chiefs. Remember that last AFC Champions Day? Were killing the Chiefs, and the refs just came in and helped out the Chiefs, or else they'd be in another Super Bowl, I believe.
So I don't know. Maybe if I was the Bengals, I would maybe, because the way it works, like you're only going to be able to keep a team together for so long.
Oh yeah,
basically, before it starts to break up and you can't afford everybody's contracts. Like, I don't know. I would start to think about things in Cincinnati. You got too good of a team to be 4-7 and missing the playoffs.
But I kind of was just like, they probably won't miss the playoffs if we look at it. Honestly, they are 4-7, right? But they're only one game out of the 8th spot, and the only two teams ahead of them are Miami and Indianapolis.
Can you real quick? Can you? Not that I even care that much about the Bengals, but it's just interesting to me. Can you look at their rest of their schedule real quick?
Yeah, let's see. Yeah. They've got, of course. All right, this week you got Pittsburgh, then you got the Cowboys in Dallas, then you got the Titans in Tennessee.
Win.
And you've got the Browns in Cincinnati.
Should be a win.
Could be. That's good.
You got the Steelers in Pittsburgh.
Man, that's the thing. They can't lose like really any more games. Does the 9-8 team make the playoffs?
You still got the Broncos also.
That'll be a great game. That should be a good game.
Where's that at?
That's in Cincinnati on the 29th of December, which that could be a play-in game for who gets in the playoffs right there, honestly.
Right there. Oh, that'll be a good game.
Damn it.
Yeah. So again,
when is that? That's like Christmas?
29th, right before, after Christmas.
It's the second to last game of the year?
Yeah.
Then what's their last game?
Pittsburgh, at Pittsburgh.
That's a good game, too.
Yeah, that could be a
rivalry.
God, dude, there's no way. You're right. The Bengals are not making the playoffs.
I don't think
because I mean,
you can lose the Broncos, you lose the Pittsburgh. That's 2 more losses. That's hard to count. But again, the only people you got to pass is Miami and the Colts. I mean, that's 2 teams that you can't trust.
I guess that's true. I mean, is there a scenario where an 8 and 9 team could make a playoffs?
Well, probably since the Seahawks, or whoever was made it with 8 wins when under 500 when Beast Mode came in there and beat up on the Saints. Remember they finished at like 6-7 or whatever, or 6-8, whatever it was. Yeah.
Who knows? I guess anything. Yeah. Maybe they are they end up being like the scariest 8 and 9 team.
I mean, I wouldn't want to play them in January.
No. Hell no. So, all right, guys. I think that's pretty much all I got for today.
Yeah.
Everybody have a good end of your. What'd you guys do for Thanksgiving, Tony?
Went over to my sister's and ate like a pig.
Nice. Family, did you do anything cool for Thanksgiving?
Watch football and then attend the auto show.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
What did I do? I went and ate food with friends, and then Ian came in from Alabama, and it just so happened Hooters in downtown Georgia opened up at 4 p.m. on Thursday night, so we went and ate chicken wings and watched football at Hooters.
Hell yeah. That's a good day. Have you got the Daytona swings yet?
No. Actually, it's funny. He's driving to Orlando today, so I think I'm going to go down to Jonesboro Hooters this afternoon and watch Eagles Ravens. So I will get the Daytona wings.
Daytona's out. They're good.
I will make a note of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not going to lie, bro. I love Atlanta. I love this place. Yes.
Oh, hey, since you're going against my Broncos tomorrow night, do you want to, bet 20 tacos?
Put some of those 200 tacos.
You're up 100.
Uh-huh.
Well, the point, like I said, I think the Broncos are going to win. I just don't think they're going to win by a touchdown necessarily.
2 touchdowns.
No, it's only 6.5 or 6, right?
Oh, I'm saying they're going to win by 2 touchdowns.
Tony? So you're saying the number would be 6?
Yep.
Okay, I'll take it just because I hope I'm wrong. I'll put 20 more tacos on it.
20 more tacos.
20 more tacos.
Dude, oh my God, I'm gonna have to buy you the biggest grande meal ever when I come home.
Get that thing supersized.
We're literally going to have a Taco Tuesday party. All right, guys. Everybody have a good football Sunday.
Word, y'all too. Later.
Okay. Adios.